Hello everyone, this is Jassim Mutlaq from StellarMate. In this video we'll be talking about time, location, and parking settings. So time and location settings are pretty critical because K-stars is essentially a pretty complex simulation of the night sky. And in order to have everything rendered correctly on the sky map, we need to have both the time and location settings to be correct. If you're running K-stars on your PC and your PC is connected to the internet, then K-stars will simply use the PC computer, which is in most of the cases synchronized to one of the public Ethernet servers or NTP servers. On the other hand, if you are using K-stars with StellarMate out in the field when using like StellarMate as a hotspot and there is no network access, then in this case it's recommended to use a GPS dongle in order to have an accurate time and location settings. In my case, I have a permanent observatory, so I don't really have to worry about the location, it's just static. And for the time, my PC is already synchronized to a public NTP server, and if the time within a second of like the accurate time, then it's not a big deal. But in this demonstration here, we'll be setting up a GPS dongle connected directly to StellarMate, and we'll be seeing how the update of time and settings propagate from K-stars to StellarMate or the other way around. So now let's go and check settings. Let's go to configure K-stars. Let's scroll to ND settings here. And here we can see the time and location updates. So by default, K-stars update all devices. So the K-star time that you see here, which is derived from your PC, then it will be used to synchronize all the devices connected to StellarMate. So this time will be the time used to set the mount time and any other device that uses time settings. The same thing for the location here. This location will be sent to all the drivers that are connected to StellarMate. If on the other hand, you want StellarMate to update the PC, so StellarMate time and location are the source of the information, then you select this option here. And in this case, the GPS and mount time and location settings are the source, and K-stars is updated accordingly according to the StellarMate time and location settings. So in this instance here, we'll be selecting this option because we'll be using a GPS dongle. So please, if you haven't set up your GPS dongle yet, please go and watch the StellarMate tutorial number 4, which goes into the details of how to use GPS and other serial devices with StellarMate. So now let's go to Ecos and let's set up a new profile. Let me just call it my StellarMate. For the mode, I'll select remote and I'll just be connected to StellarMate.local, which is the default host name. We'll be using ND Web Manager. I'll be using the simulators. So telescope simulator here, CCD simulator, focuser simulator. And for the auxiliary, I'll be using the GPST device. This is, you use GPST if you have a GPS dongle attached to StellarMate. For the auxiliary 2, I'll be using astrometry. So this will run the astrometry driver on the remote StellarMate. And we're set. Let's just click Save. And let's connect to StellarMate. So now it's connected to StellarMate, and then we see immediately here that the location was changed from my location to GPS location. So now this is the location as reported. Also the time is now synchronized to whatever time reported by the GPST driver. Similarly, if we go to the telescope, the location settings for the mount driver is also synchronized now to the GPS. And you can check this by going in to the options and checking which devices the mount driver snoops to, and it's now snooping the GBSD driver. So this is how we set the time and location settings, and now we have a pretty accurate GPS time for using K-stars. The next topic is not very related to time and location, but it depends on it, which is parking settings. So if you see here on the toolbar, well, before we go to the toolbar, let's go to the main connection. And you can see here that the mount is unparked. Similarly, on the toolbar, we see here that the unpark icon is grayed out or disabled, while the parking icon, park telescope icon, is on or enabled. Also, if we go to the mount modulo and we click the mount control, here we can see that we can park, but we cannot unpark because it's already unparked. So setting the parking location depends on the mount model. Some mounts have like a permanent parking location as designated by the handset. Other mounts like EQ mod mount and other mounts would allow you to set a custom location. So now if you click here, this would lock the telescope so we can find it where it's located on the sky map at all times. So now let's say that we want to set this location here, for example, to be our parking position. So it's only simply of right-clicking the place on the sky map, then going to the mount driver, in this case a telescope simulator, and we simply click set as parking position. So now the mount is going to salute to that point, and then it will save it as a parking position. Let's go back to the ND control panel, and let's go to site management, and this is where all the magic happens. And if you just saw here that the parking position was just updated, and in here in the log it says set parking status and position. Now the mount is still unparked. We can go anywhere. We can, for example, slew to this star. Let's do that actually. In order to park the mount, we just simply use the standard controls. So remember, we set it roughly to this place here. Now let's click park. And now the mount is going to its parking location that we set. And it went to where we expected the location. So now the mount is parked and we can unpark it. And next time you use your mount, it will be from this parking location. So this is the way to set up the parking position. If you want to change that, you go to ND control panel, your mount driver, site management, and here you can set the park options. You can set the current location where the mount is, or you can set it back to the default location. So I hope this video was useful in explaining the time and location settings in addition to the mount parking options. Thank you for watching.